The Indiana High School Athletic Association proudly presents another championship event. This telecast is brought to you by your local Indiana dairy farmer, Winners Drink Milk, Farm Bureau Insurance, the proud corporate sponsor of all the Indiana High School Athletic Association championship events. DuPont Classic, Pinnacle, Assure 2. What makes them better is you. And by PSI Energy.
So we're live at the Hoosier Dome in downtown Indianapolis. The boys state finals and the colors of the rainbow are here as we get set to match up South Bend Clay and Valparaiso. The current Colonials are uncharted territory for them. They have never been this far. What's going to happen? We'll find out in a couple of moments. Valparaiso, undefeated in 28 ball games. They were the last undefeated team to win the state championship was Marion back in 1985. Can they do it again? I don't know. We'll find out. Earlier today, here's what happened. Valparaiso and Ben Davis locked horns in a ball game, Tom Hessian, that Valparaiso was really in charge of most of the way.
Well, Valparaiso showed why they were an undefeated ball club this afternoon. Now they're 28-0. They came in, really did things they had to do, did them very well. They're a ball club, as we indicated earlier. They don't hurt themselves. Not a lot of mistakes, good shooting, good movement, and pretty solid balanced play. All
right, the statistical story in that first ball game, you just saw the matchup situation. Now here are the final stats, and the shooting is what really killed Ben Davis this afternoon.
Well, it was. Valpo got to the free throw line 27 times and hit 21 of them, 7 of 14 from the outside. And on the rebounds, Ben Davis did have a little advantage there. Turnovers virtually even.
I'm going to highlight a couple of players here, and there were a couple of young men, Bishop and Furlan, who had outstanding games in opposite halves of this ball game today.
Well, you're going to see Tim Bishop right here behind the two-point arc. He had 25 this afternoon. He had 2 of them from the three-point area. Really an outside shooter. All season has been very effective.
Second ball game was an interesting one because South Bend Clay led the entire distance until toward the end of the ball game. They had a 16-point lead in the fourth quarter and let it get away. They did come back to pick up the victory, and let's take a look at the stat story on this particular ball game. The shooting again, one team hot, the other not so hot.
That's right. 16 of 27. They also got to the free throw line 27 times.
All right, one of the big guys was nailing on their ball club, Lee Nailin. He is a force in the middle, even when he doesn't have the basketball.
Well, he really is. He dictates what you have to do defensively. Here you see him wait, go up, and slam it down, and that's going to be a factor tonight because you have to know where he is.
All right, Tom, Valparaiso is a ball club that comes out of the locker room letting it fly. South Bend Clay a little more organized. What do you see this ball game?
Well, I say Clay's quick defense is going to have to be a factor.
All right, just settle back and enjoy this with us. It's South Bend Clay. They've never been here before. Valparaiso, they'd love to pick up a state championship. Stay with us. It's all coming up next on the IHSAA Television Network, and one of your network sponsors is Farm Bureau Insurance. Well, you see the crowd on hand here at the Hoosier Dome. South Bend Clay, Valparaiso. Let's get the pregame festivities underway with our PA announcer for the night, Scott Gray.
Ladies and gentlemen, for your pregame entertainment and presentation of colors, we proudly present the Pride of Paoli color guard, directed by Mr. Jeff Davis and assisted by Ms. Ann Wellman. Tonight's performance by the 20-member color guard, led by Captain Yolanda McManus, will include music by In Excess, a patriotic fanfare by John Williams, and our national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, we now proudly present the Pride of Paoli color guard.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you please rise at this time for the playing of our national anthem?
We'll come back and meet the two teams, South Bend Clay and Valparaiso, as they play for the state championship. But first, let's pause for these messages. In 28 games, 26-2 South Bend Clay. Time to meet them. Again, Scott Gray.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Indianapolis and the Hoosier Dome for the championship game of the 84th annual Boys Basketball State Finals Tournament. Here are your starting lineups for tonight's championship game. First, for the South Bend Clay Colonials. At guard, a 5'9" senior, number 10, Michael Lee. At guard, a 6'2" senior, number 14, Chad Hudnall. At forward, a 6'3" sophomore, number 22, Jaraan Cornell. At forward, a 6'8" senior, number 54, Lee Nalon. At center, a 6'5" junior, number 52, LaShawn Nalon. Head coach of the 26-2 Colonials of South Bend Clay, Tom DeBates. And now the starting lineup for tonight's home team, the Valparaiso Vikings. At one guard, a 6-foot senior, number 22, Tim Bishop. At the other guard, a 6'3" senior, number 24, Bryce Drew. At forward, a 6'2" senior, number 32, Ryan Erdelak. At forward, a 6'3" junior, number 40, Dave Berlin. And the center, a 6'3" senior, number 50, Mark Bernison. Head coach of the 28 Vikings of Valparaiso, Bob Hunter.
So you have met the squads. Let's tip it up in just a moment. The Valparaiso Ball Club, unbeaten in 28 games. South Bend Clay 26-2. One of your network sponsors is PSI Energy. It's the first trip ever to the Final Four. Valparaiso in the final rankings, number 1 in the AP poll, number 1 from the coach's standpoint. They were preseason rated 7 and 6. The statistical matchup, 53 to 56% shooting. There are the free throw numbers and the three-point shooting. That's from this afternoon's game. And the officials for tonight, Tom.
James Dunlap from Newburgh will toss it up. Rex Nichols, the other official from Mooresville, Indiana.
South Bend Clay finished the year ranked 17th in the AP poll, 11th in the coaches poll. They were not even ranked at the beginning of the season with AP, and they're ranked number 18 with the coaches. They got a freebie right off the start of the ball game.
I think that's part of the influence that Lee Nalen has. When the ball goes to him, you've got to get front and back, and they came from the backside, and that left Cornell open for the layup. 2-3 zone now by Clay.
Deep in the right side, over the top of the board, out of bounds. Clay was extremely effective this afternoon, if you were with us, in adjusting their defensive alignments. Tom, they must have used a half a dozen different shows today.
Now, they mixed them up well. Valpo's trying to go man-to-man right here. Clay did start their big lineup tonight. Oh, there's Cornell down the baseline.
Jaraan Cornell, a sophomore at 6'3", 185 pounds. He leads this ball club in steals, second in block shots, averaging 16.5 points per game. The three in the sky, hit the bottom of the board. Off comes South Bend. Clay again with the basketball. They're up 4-0. In a hurry, they got the open spot up, jumper left side, Nalen. No. Knocked on the floor and chased down deep in the corner by Cornell, who's been everywhere so far in the first minute of this ball game.
LaShawn and Lee Nalen both in the starting lineup. Evidently going to pack it inside, but travel with the basketball once they did get it in.
They started Bonds in the afternoon game, and then tonight went with the big guy, LaShawn, the brother to Lee. So they got 6'7" Lee Nalen, 215, and LaShawn at 6'5", 200. They've got some heavy-duty dudes in there.
Yeah, it kind of depends on how they want to match up as whether LaShawn does start or not, or whether it be Bonds. It was Bonds this afternoon.
Valparaiso is not bashful about letting the shot fly from almost anywhere. We saw that graphic a couple of moments ago. Here's the outside three in the sky. Rebound taken down by Burnison. And a nice ball game. To go again with Bishop. Yes, it's a two.
Well, they've taken 4 shots. They've all been from the three-point range with the exception of that one, and that was the one they knocked down. He was just inside the stripe.
Clay leading 4-2 over Valparaiso. A whistle and a foul. And it is against South Bend Clay. And I think they picked up Nalen.
Big Lee right there, 54. They did. He was trying to set a pick, but he was moving into the defender.
Valparaiso trying to become the first undefeated team to win the state title since '85 with the Marion Giants wearing that long run of theirs. And as I mentioned at the outset of the telecast, uncharted territory for South Bend Clay. They have never been this far in the tournament before. And he stepped on the bounce marker there as Bishop put that right foot back to set for the pass, or the shot stepped out of bounds.
Yeah, it appears that Clay is going to sit and hope that Valpo can take enough shots from the outside, but they won't get inside and have a foul problem on Clay.
Well, foul problems were major factors. Here's a travel violation out high. Both New Albany and Ben Davis faced problems with their key players today. For Ben Davis, Damon Frierson didn't get into the flow of the game till late on in the contest. He had 2 early fouls. And for New Albany, they had problems likewise. Rowland fouling out. Whitehead is the key. He got in foul trouble also in the game, and they had to go to work and put him on the bench. There's the three deep in the right corner. It is good by Bishop. And that's Bishop's 75th three-pointer of the season. He had a great ball game this afternoon with 25 points. 5-4 ball game. Valparaiso taking the lead for the first time. Here's the steal. This is Drew giving it over right side. Layup rolls off the rim from Furlan, and the ball comes back into the hands of Clay. 4 turnovers now for South Bend Clay. Only 1 for Valparaiso. Stepping out into the three, Cornell.
Well, he kind of measured that one, didn't he? He was checking the stripe and got his feet back, and no defender in his face. And Jaraan hits that shot.
He has all 7 of South Bend Clay's points. 3 minutes gone in the first quarter of this ball game. Furlan thought about the outside shot, took it inside, and a held ball is called. Possession arrow will give the ball back to Valparaiso. And the first substitution of the evening set to come into the lineup for South Bend Clay. Here is Charles Bonds. We talked about him as being in the starting lineup earlier today. Now he is out. LaShawn Nalen, he comes in and Nalen will go out. There is Tom DeBates. 4:45 to play. First quarter of action just getting underway for the state championship. Off the back of the rim, knocked free, knocked out of bounds, and the ball belongs to South Bend Clay. Tom DeBates with Jim Perrette, Ken Vargo, Steve Scott, and Chip Armour as his assistants. Tom's in his 9th year. He needed 2 victories coming into today to tie the all-time school record held by Tom Hess. If he gets it tonight, what a terrific way to tie a record by picking up a state championship. Nice look inside, and once again that is Cornell with a great feed from Lee Nalen. 9 points for Clay and 9 points for Cornell. At the other end, a little slow getting back was South Bend Clay, and Bishop now has all 7 of the points for Valparaiso.
Oh, that Cornell really has a smooth little move along the baseline and a great touch.
11 points. He's only 4 shy of his output this afternoon.
One of the things about it, they make a steal and almost give it back.
It is given back. Valparaiso will get the basketball. They claim it was touched last by South Bend Clay. Now they have turned that around. Readjusted that decision. The officials get together and make the call.
Lee Nalen at 6'8" is quite a problem anyway, and he even adds to his effectiveness because he can pass the ball, as he's done a couple of times right here from the high post down to Jaraan Cornell. Now they switch positions. Cornell high.
I could do it away. First mistake that Cornell's made so far in this ball game. Cornell 11, Bishop 7. That's really the score. Although on the scoreboard it reads Clay and Valpo. That's all the scoring that's been done has been done by 2 individual players. 3:40 to go in the first quarter of this game. Valparaiso basketball having trouble getting it inside. They finally do, and a reach-in foul on Michael Lee.
Well, they got Drew down inside, and Lee trying to handle him.
Drew did not have the typical Bryce Drew kind of an afternoon. We'll talk about that in a couple of moments. There's that latest play.
There's Furlan's pass inside. He gets it in the zone a little bit wide down on the baseline, or they might have been in a matchup that time, and got a favorable match for Valpo right there. Well, you talk about his scoring, but he did have a big afternoon assist-wise, Jerry. We're speaking of Bryce Drew, 13 of them.
The average is 25 points a game, had but 9 points and 3 rebounds this afternoon. But fortunately for him, Tim Bishop stepped up, as did Dave Furlan. He gets one of the 2 free throws, and he becomes the first player other than Bishop to score for Valparaiso. Valparaiso off to a slow start scoring-wise, and very quickly up court, Chad Hucknall becomes the first South Bend Clay player to score other than Jaraan Cornell.
Clay makes some nice passes against the press. They did that time, got it in the hands of Hucknall, and he beat the defense.
Deep in the corner, off the mark, 3 for 9 now. 33% shooting for Valparaiso. South Bend shooting Tom 6 of 7 for 86%. It is on Lee Nalen. That's number 2 on him. Now that could become a factor for Tom DeBates, and he'll quickly make a change. John White, a 6'4" senior, 185-pounder, will come into the lineup. It'll take Nalen out of there. He has not scored in this ball game, Tom. Lee Nalen.
Valpo working against the zone right here, and Bishop's in good shooting position.
Shot short. Good position on the rebound from John White, who just came in the ball game. 3 minutes to play first quarter. 13-8 is your score. South Bend Clay over Valparaiso. And an offensive foul.
Yeah, Hucknall down the baseline. He couldn't get stopped. He had the nice look on the pass to Cornell in the lane.
That's number 1 on Hucknall. Timeout has been taken, so we'll do the same. 13-8 is your score. South Bend Clay over Valparaiso. Back in a moment. One of your network sponsors tonight is your local Indiana dairy farmer. Hoosier Dome in Indianapolis. South Bend Clay with a 13-8 lead. A little less than 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. There are some pretty amazing men in attendance here. There is one of them right there, Hilliard Gates. 50-plus years in sportscasting of the state of Indiana from the Fort Wayne area. Hilliard, say hello to all your fans out there. He was here, Tom, before you and I got here this morning, and all he's got to do is come and watch. Great.
Yeah, he loves it, and it's nice to have him around.
Oh, it is. Great, great man. Well, this is an all-star crowd tonight. I saw Bobby Plump, who took Mile into the finals back in '54. George McGinnis was here, and they won it all. And I suppose if you walk through the stands behind us, it's quite an array of stars back there. Right now, it's 13-8 Clay over Valpo. Valparaiso basketball. They will put the Long shot up. It's off the mark. Rebounded by Erdelac. First time he called his name. He lost the ball. Manages to maintain the dribble and gets the ball in the hands of Furlan. Now the shot from the left wing. Again, the three-pointer simply not falling for Valparaiso, and that's put him in a hole at 13-8. Nice effort that time from Erdelac. Knocked the ball free. Picked up by Valparaiso. On the run is Tim Bishop. Hard to the hook. Yes, sir. Bishop off and running with 9 of the 10 points that Valpo has. 3-point Clay lead. 2:04 to play first quarter.
Well, Clay started with their size. Bonds is going to shoot it off the baseline.
And Furlan comes off with the rebound. They tried to thread the needle, couldn't get it done, and Michael Lee couldn't make the save. Was out of bounds at the end of the court down here.
Tom DeBates started with both Naylands in the lineup, and neither are in there right at the moment. Here's there goes Lee into the crowd. He tried to save that one after it was deflected. Another change. Steve Griffin, number 32, is in. There you see Steve. He's going to replace Hudnall for a few moments.
Outside three. Remsen comes out again. On the rebound, Cornell. He's been quiet, but boy, he started off like a house of fire. He had the first 11 points. 13-10 is your score for South Bend Clay.
Had some strange people shoot the ball the last 2 times. Bonds way outside on the baseline for Clay, and that one out of the corner by Bernison. Normally not his territory.
Here's Cornell. Nothing doing this time. 22 shoots, 22 rebounds. Bishop brings it back up court. Will pull up from 3-point range and a rollout on him, and it's rebounded again by 22 at the other end. Cornell, only a sophomore. 13-10 score. Now they fire the 3 at the other end. Nothing doing. Rebound taken off inside by Bryce Drew. Not a lot of offensive sets being run right now.
Get your feet behind the line and shoot it.
Hit or fly. Well, if you're back there, that's your shot. Here's the baseline foul on Michael Lee. On Michael Lee, that's number 2. Foul difficulty might become some concern to Tom DeBates.
All right, there's Bishop with the ball. He starts to move around onto the baseline, and the contact was made. You saw the official there. James Dunlap made the call. Erdelac goes out, and we have Bob Finley in the lineup for Valpo.
Finley is 6'4", senior, 190 pounds, scored 6 points, had 7 strong rebounds in the victory over Ben Davis earlier today. Another 3 on the way. This time it's good. Tim Bishop with his second three-pointer in this quarter. He's had a great first quarter of play, scoring 11 of Valparaiso's 12 points. They're down 13-12. Nice ball movement by Clay. Cornell trying to get back into the flow of things. Rattles in and out. Rebound comes off to Valparaiso. Bernison comes out of there with it. Now they've got 30 seconds left in the quarter. We'll see how they opt to play this final 30 seconds.
Valparaiso does make you defend the entire floor. When you start to double team and get over on the overload side, they've got that man standing behind the line on the weak side, and they move the ball there, and he becomes a very effective shooter, whether it be Bishop, Furlan, or Drew.
Penetration inside by Bishop. Got it. Well, they ran that play to perfection. That's a sensational first quarter for Tim Bishop, who has outscored the Clay team by himself. Only the third lead change, and after 1, it's Valparaiso down by 5, coming back to take a 15-13 lead, and 14 of the 15 points scored by Valparaiso scored by Tim Bishop. Back in a moment, one of your network sponsors, DuPont Ag Products. Tom Hession, Jim Barber running the sidelines for us. This is Jerry Baker. We're back now with the Hoosier Dome, and there's the first quarter story. Quite a story on Tim Bishop with 14 of the 15 points for Valparaiso.
14 gives him 39 for the day. Not a bad performance for a football player.
Bill Sturman, let's get your thoughts, if we could, please, on the first quarter of this ball game. Bill Sturman, head coach at Columbus North High School.
Bishop's having a great game for Valpo. I think the other boys will hit a little later on in the ball game. As soon as they hit, why, they're going to be back in the ball game. They're only down 3, and I'm sure they feel good about it now.
Did you like the pace of the game, Coach?
Yes, the pace of the game is very good for both teams, and Clay had a chance to put the game away early, but the boys got in foul trouble. The big boys got 2 fouls, and that slows them down. And if Valpo gets hitting a little better, with the exception of Bishop, they're going to, be in good shape.
All right, Bill, thank you very kindly. Bill Sturman, along with our panel of coaching experts, Richard Budd of Leo and Ron McBride of Bloomfield. Bob Hunter looking on. Bob Bob Barthold is his assistant. Bob Hunter, 25th year on Valparaiso's coaching staff, including junior high, JV, and varsity. He's been around that school system for quite some time. His 4th year as the head coach now at Valparaiso. 85-32 is his record. Out front, shot comes up and good for Bryce Drew. So finally somebody other than Bishop scores a field goal.
But there's the illustration again. They try to double team the basketball, and when they do that, Valpo has the players spread well on the offensive floor, and you can't get to them quickly enough. They're going to hit it like Drew did.
Dropping it inside, Nayland.
I really think they need one of the Naylands, in this case LaShawn, on that baseline. It forces Valpo's defense to do some things which will not only free up Cornell, but enable Nayland to take advantage of his size. There's a foul.
Yes, sir. Hutnall came out of the traffic with the basketball, and somebody for Valpo got him.
I think it's Bishop.
You are right. That is number 1 on Tim Bishop. And LaShawn Nayland is in the lineup. Lee Nayland, who started at the center position, is out because he picked up 2 fouls in the first quarter. Tom DeBates set him down and hopes to keep his ball club close until he can get him back in there. 17-15, Valparaiso lead. They've led by as many as 4. Clay's biggest lead has been 5. 3 lead changes in no time. Well, here's a guy who was on fire at the start of the ball game. Cornell. He has quieted down a little bit here. Ball away shot. Nothing. Rebound knocked out of bounds. Belongs to South Bend Clay.
Clay's doing a good job. They're trying to get Cornell on one side of on the wing with LaShawn down underneath Nayland. The big man they've got to get him in front of, and it gives Cornell some room outside. Then they swing it to the other side, and they've got Hudnall, their outside shooter, like right there. And he falls a little short. There's a pretty good put.
Boy, you betcha. Burnison really put the hand to the back. I think it was Nayland. Now the other end. The 3 on the way, and they're having some difficulties, but that doesn't seem to slow them down. So they bring it across. Let her fly. In the middle. The shot is going to count. Cornell now with 13 points, and the foul will send him to the line with a chance for the 3-point play. The foul is against Bishop, number 2 on him, and here it comes one more time.
Well, they start out with a bounce pass inside, and Cornell goes up. Bishop committed the foul. And Cornell really has a fine touch, as we've indicated before. I don't want to belabor the point, but this is a fine basketball player.
Mike Follis in that Valparaiso lineup. I beg your pardon, Erdelak in the lineup. And Follis. And Cornell, who's a 2-year letter winner and an honor roll student at South Bend Clay High School. Converts the 3-point play, give him 14 points. He has 14, but Clay's 18. 2 to Hudnall, and the other 2 belong to LaShawn Nayland. And it's 18-17 South Bend Clay, the 4th time we've had a lead change in this game. Valparaiso averaging 78 points a game, and Clay 75-3. We expect a high-scoring game, but both their defensive units are also very strong. Again, the 3 catches the back of the rim. It bounces long range. Clay's got it. Look for the 3 themselves. Swing the ball beautifully to the left side. Open man is Griffin. It is short. The rebound taken down inside by Valparaiso. Mike Follis, the 6'2 senior, comes out of there with it. 18-17 South Bend Clay. Batted free, finally out of bounds. Belongs to Clay.
Now Furlan tried to get the shot up and in when he took it on the dribble. Couldn't get it, batted away. We're going to see a little more of it here, I think. There it goes right there. That's Furlan's effort. Tapped away by LaShawn Nayland, and Erdelak knocks it out of bounds and takes Charlie Bonds right with him.
Clay didn't even get out of the sectional last year. They lost to South Bend St. Joe's 46-45 in the South Bend sectional. Now they've come all the way to the championship game of the state tournament. Nice bounce pass inside to Nayland. Basket will not count. Wipe it off. And the foul is against number 52 of Valparaiso. It's Bob Finley. Finley's first. South Bend Clay, as I mentioned, unranked at the outset of the season. They finished up 17th and 11th. First time in the state finals, having won only their 3rd sectional title. 18-17 Clay. 4:50 to go here in the first half of this game. Ben Davis and the Albany players seated right behind us here. Here's the ball knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Valparaiso. And they will come out at halftime and get their Final 4 awards. I'll show that to you.
Kind of looked like a house of cards that time. They kind of went down in domino style. Let's watch this. Drive by Hudnall. He stops. Coming from behind is Drew. He goes down. Finley goes down inside. The ball out of bounds. And Clay's going to retain the possession.
4:43 to go. First half of this game with Clay in front, 18-17. Just like that, they add 3 more for Hudnall. Chad's first 3 of the game, his 65th of the season, and it's 21-17. Valparaiso, timeline violation. A little careless with the pass that time, turns it over. And Clay will get it in midcourt. Substitution now. John White coming in. Griffin going out. There's White, number 44.
Bob Punter's going to make a couple of changes. Bishop and Burnison coming back, and Erdelak goes out along with Follis.
Interesting, Tom, that Ferland was such a major force this afternoon and has not scored. He had 26 points and 5 rebounds. In the afternoon game, he has been totally shut down tonight.
It seems like when you're good and undefeated like Valpo is, somebody always does it.
Right? Travel violation? Yes, that's exactly what it is. LaShawn Nayland picked up the turnover. In the afternoon game, as we talked about, for Valparaiso, 18 points in the first half for Ferland, and Bishop finished up with 18 points in the second half. So 25 for Bishop, 26 for Ferland. The turnover story of this ball game, 9-4. South Bend with a high number there. 21-17. South Bend Clay in the purple uniforms. Their school colors are purple and gold. Valparaiso, Kelly green and white. With their pep band working hard down at the end of the floor. Nice look inside. The bucket is good by Bishop. On the inside look from Bryce Drew.
Nice movement offensively. Clay had gone to their man defense, and Valpo with very good movement. A lot of cuts from the outside through the lane, and that went along the baseline to Bishop.
21-19 ball game. Clay out in front. Turnaround shot Cornell. No good. Foul called against Burnison. The number 1 foul against Burnison so far in this ball game.
Put Cornell to the line again, and he, of course, a tremendous free throw shooter. He came into this tournament on the season with a free throw shooting percentage of 77%. And this afternoon he was 7 of 9. So that upped it a percent or so.
Valparaiso, the top free throw shooting club percentage-wise as a unit at 73% in the Final Four. Cornell now with 15. That's only a 1.5 points shy of his scoring average. Clay is the top rebounding unit in the Final Four with a 36.8 per game rebounding average compared to 31.1 for Valparaiso. The real story is Clay out-rebounds its opponents by 12 per game. On the other hand, Valparaiso out-rebounds its opponents by a half a dozen per game. 23-19, the quick pull-up shot rattles in and out for Bishop. Off comes Clay again. They're not giving Valpo any second opportunities, Tom.
Well, that's why they're a leading rebounding team. They don't do many teams that they give second opportunities. And how about Holmes?
He steps up for only his 16th three-pointer of the season, and a timeout taken by Valparaiso. 26-19. Clay has its biggest lead of the game. One of your network sponsors is Farm Bureau Insurance. 7-point lead for South Bend Clay is the biggest they've enjoyed so far. Some of the festivities, some of the fans getting into this ball game. We get fans watching us at Tony's on American Grill in Roswell, Georgia. In fact, Joe Payne, our executive producer, was telling us he's had calls from all over the country wanting to know how in the world they can catch this game. And if you take a look at the three-point shooting, we're happy to have members of the various schools who've moved out across the country or just good old Hoosier basketball fans. 26-19 in favor of South Bend Clay. They have suddenly found their stride again. Here's the three on the way, and he got it. Dave Ferland's first score of the game, his 35th three of the season, his first of the night. That chops the lead down in a hurry to 4, 26-22.
Well, the teams that have struggled here today scoring-wise are those that haven't been effective with the three.
Cornell gets the bucket, draws the foul from Ferland, and goes to the free throw line. Cornell kind of set the pace for this game, Tom, and take a look at what he does again here.
Well, he gets a nice pass from Griffin to start with, and he is not sealed off the baseline, goes across the basket, reverse layup. He has a good quick move, and then he jumps well. He leaves the floor, great spring, And he's very difficult to have his shot blocked, even though he stands only 6'3".
I talked, Tom, about the fact that Bishop had 14 of Valpo's 15 first-quarter points, while Cornell had 11 of South Bend Clay's 13. So we had two guys doing the major work in the damage department. That's 4 out of 4 now for Cornell.
Clay likes to
19.
Clay likes to press. Valpo's a tough team to press. For that reason right there, they get the ball down in the open court. When they get in the open court, they're really dangerous shooting it.
19 for Cornell, 19 for Bishop. Bishop has had 3 threes this afternoon. He has 3 already tonight, and we're 2 minutes and 19 seconds away from halftime. Well, I was told by people who had seen Valpo play that they bring it out and they let it fly. And they have not been disappointed. Here's Cornell. Yes. Boy, what a game this youngster's playing. 6'3", 185 pounds, only a sophomore, averaging 16.5 points. He has 21 in the first half of this ball game. Baseline block, nice defensive play by Naylor. LaShawn Naylor, there he is, 52. But they call the foul. And that is number 1 on him.
We're going to see LaShawn here. He's a pretty good shot blocker. Bernison comes down the line. And there's Sean making contact. LaShawn, I should say, up above the offensive player Bernison.
Bob and Leak, Bernison, 67% shooter. We'll get 2, the first of which is good. And Bob Burnett doing a little research over here. We mentioned that Bishop had 3 threes this afternoon and 3 tonight. That gives him 6, and that ties a state record for most 3-pointers in 2 games set by Richie Hamill of Lafayette Jeff a couple of years ago when he had 6 in the 2 game for the Broncos. Bernison, yes, good on 2 out of 2. And with 1:52 to play in this first half, another substitution for Valparaiso. Ryan Erdely comes into the lineup, replacing Mark Bernison.
Both coaches really have used their bench and have used them well here this evening. And they've done a lot of other things pretty well, too. These are 2 pretty well coached ball clubs.
They really are, Tom. You don't get here for just luck alone. Boy, Cornell is absolutely unbelievable. He had 11 points in the first quarter. He has 12 in the second quarter. So total that up and subtract that from 33 and you'll see what they're getting from the rest of the ball club.
And we're going to have a foul again, and they're beginning to add up a little bit here in this latter stage of the first half.
John White with the foul. That's his first. Only Michael Lee and Lee Naylor get any kind of foul difficulty for Tom DeBates, and that is not that big a deal. They have 2 apiece, although they did sit Nayland down early because he got his rather quickly.
They've spread them through a lot of players.
Yeah, Clay has. Drew, 2 out of 3. Wyatt has been Bryce Drew today, Tom. 9 points, 3 rebounds, but a nice 13-assist effort in the afternoon victory over Ben Davis. And tonight, just 4 points, and that's all he has so far.
He's really had some free throw shooting problems here today. He was shooting 80% coming into this tournament from the charity stripe. I've really been impressed with the ball and player movement offensively that both of these teams have employed.
He tried to go in the middle that time to Cornell. Lincoln kind of caught him off guard. Tom, he wasn't expecting the pass. Pulled up jumper outside again. Bishop with 21. It's the Bishop Cornell show right now. Cornell has 23. Tim Bishop has 21.
Gives him the record for the Final Four, doesn't it? From the 3-point area.
It sure does.
And Finley's going to draw this foul down in the lane.
I want to check. I'm not sure they gave him a 3 or a 2 on that last one. Bishop shot.
Well, Valpo has 30 points.
Rebound play. They chase it down, go back inside. Nice strong move to the hoop, but it won't fall for White. And a foul. Nice play. That's the first on Jaraan Cornell.
John White made a lot of things happen that time except the ball going in the basket. He made a nice pass. He got control. Here's Hudnall with it. He has to make a nice catch. Goes up. Can't get it to go down. And Hudnall, who started the play, not involved there, but Cornell comes in on the back and It's going to put Ryan Erdelak at the line.
Tom, and checking, that is correct, Bishop. They did give him a 3. I wasn't sure the official let the hand go in the air, but that's 4, and that's a state record. And if you're wondering now,
I bet he'll get another one.
Well, I'm going to say, those who have had 4 3-pointers, Richie Hamill, Todd Leary of Lawrence North, played at that IU ball club this year, and Scott George of Ben Davis, 1993. And he may have a bump before this night is over. Erdelak gets them both. 33-32 Clay. After leading by 5 and falling behind by 4, they kicked it back to 7. Now it's a 1-point lead for South Bend Clay. Final 25 seconds of the first half of this ball game. Stay with us at halftime. Shot good. And the undercut foul of Erdelak. That's the first on Ryan tonight.
A nice little dribbling move there by Charlie Bonds. He reversed himself. Almost lost his balance, and Erdelak helped him hit the deck. Watch you here. He's going to stop, reverse the ball with the dribble, goes up, and he almost fell down. Erdelak whistled for the foul.
All right, let's back up again. Now, Tom, we were told they did not give Bishop a 3 on that previous shot. Not that it's all that significant, but we want to make sure we get it right. And I didn't think I saw the hand go up. And in checking the monitor, it looked as though they had. Now we double check and find out they have not given him the 3. Here's the shot by Bonds, missed. 1 seconds, 35-32, stop and play.
I'll pull a chance to go in and tie if they can get a 3-pointer here. And they've got it in the hands of one of their 3-point shooters.
Saw Bishop take a good strong look. Now the ball is stripped away. Nice defensive play. They've got the lead man. They've got the bucket. At the buzzer, John White scores his first 2 points of the game. Valparaiso's game plan was in order, just not particularly well executed. You probably saw Bishop's eyes glance up to the scoreboard, and when he did, he started to cut toward the middle, had the ball stripped away. The Valparaiso bench wanting a foul. They didn't get it. We'll take a look at the last play and the 2-point turnaround.
Now Bishop tries to penetrate. The dribble knocked away inside by Steve Griffin.
Nice play by Steve.
Hudnall made a nice pass, as does Bonds. And White looked like he might get in trouble. Didn't know whether he's going to bank it or stuff it. There's the clock running down. He goes up and going to lay it right over the rim.
With about 0.2 of a second to go. All right, come back with us now. Ben Davis and New Albany, your ball clubs are here. You'll get a chance to look at them in just a couple of moments. We'll break. One of your network sponsors is PSI Energy.
This IHSAA network telecast is being presented by your local Indiana dairy farmer. Winners drink milk. Farm Bureau Insurance, the proud corporate sponsor of all the Indiana High School Athletic Association championship events. DuPont Classic, Pinnacle, Assure 2. What makes them better is you. And by PSI Energy.
Well, thank you, Joe Pate. Nice job. Well done. We're back now at the Hoosier Dome, downtown Indianapolis. Jerry Baker and Tom Hesham. Just interesting first half of ball, because about the time you think somebody's established something, somebody else goes and does it the other way.
Well, it was also interesting in the fact that somebody other than these 2 players are going to have to get involved offensively. We've got Tim Bishop on the Valpo side and Jaraan Cornell for Clay. Other than that, we haven't had any offense.
You got that right. Let's take a look at the stat story in the first half of this ball game. See what jumps out at you here.
Well, we see 56% shooting from Clay. That's real good. 27 shots for both clubs. Free throw line, pretty good shooting for both of them. 3 points. Look at Valpo, 4 out of 16, and they're a team that has really been living off that throughout the season. Rebounds even, turnovers. Clay has turned it over twice as many times, and Valpo, you see, has really cashed in on those opportunities.
South Bend scoring in the first half of this ball game for Clay. Cornell with 23. That's one of the guys Tom was referring to. Cornell 9 of 11 from the field, 1 out of 1 3-point wise, 4 out of 4 free throws and 4 rebounds. Then you go down to Hudnall and Bonds and White. For Valparaiso, Bishop is the other guy that Tom was speaking of. Tim Bishop, 9 of 15, 3 of 8 3-pointers, did not get to the free throw stripe. 21 points in the first half of this ball game. In the first quarter, Bishop scored 14 of Valparaiso's 15, and Cornell scored 11 of South Bend Clay's 13. So at halftime, Cornell with 23 and Bishop with 21. There is the halftime score, 37-32. Clubs are starting to come back on the floor. We'll do the same in just a moment. One of your network sponsors is DuPont Ag Products. 7:32 as we rejoin you now with the Hoosier Dome. Interesting to note, Tom Hession, that Valparaiso never trailed in their victory over Ben Davis 84-69, but they've been battling uphill literally from the outset of this ball game tonight.
Well, they really have, and I think one of the things that really, Clay's going to fight. From this afternoon, they really controlled that ball game for 3.5 quarters. New Albany took the lead, but just for one sequence, and they came right back, so they're going to be tough to overcome.
We talked about Tim Bishop. Let's take a look at some of his play in the first half of this ball game. He ties the state record with 3 3-pointers in this game. Let's take a look at one of them right here.
Well, he takes that pass from Dave Furlan, who started to drive the middle, and Bishop really effective all day shooting it, and he does tie the state final record.
There he is, not warming up now as the ball club is back out there. Of course, his numbers. You see what's happened, 9-15. Now let's take a look at the other force on the other side of the floor, Jaraan Cornell with 23 points.
Well, this slashing sophomore, there he goes around Burnison, takes it right to the basket, bangs into Furlan and banks it in, and he has a real good first half. Let's look at his numbers. Look at there, 82% from the field and 6 of 16 for the rest of the team.
We're going to take a short break, and then we're going to come back and get the thoughts of Richard Butt, the head coach at Leo, on how he has seen the first half of this ball game progress. We'll take the break right now. Let's pause for these messages. Here's a look at the crowd here at the Hoosier Dome, and somewhere amongst that crowd is Richard Butt, the head coach of Leo High School. Richard, nice to have you on our telecast this year. Your thoughts on the first half of this game?
Oh, thank you. I really enjoyed that first half. This is a tough ball game. Both teams are playing hard. This is going to be a real tough second half due to the fact that they had one game this morning already. Best conditioned team may come out ahead before this thing's all over.
Your thoughts, Richard, on Bishop coming out so strong and Cornell coming out equaling him in the scoring department?
Well, I was a little bit surprised how well they did shoot early, being that it was the second ball game. If they can continue that, it's going to be interesting the whole way. But I think South Bend's going to have to pick it up a little bit defensively, put a little bit more pressure on them. If they do that, South Bend's going to come out ahead in this game.
All right, Richard, thanks for joining us. We've enjoyed having you here.
Yes, sir.
Valparaiso in the white uniforms trimmed in the Kelly green, and Clay in the purple uniforms trimmed in gold and white. And the second half is underway here at the Hoosier Dome.
Well, Clay's going to start man-to-man, and Drew goes to the basket and gets a fielder.
Well, they've got to get Drew involved somehow, Tom. He only had 9 points this afternoon, only 4 in the first half. That from a young man who averages 25. I got a feeling Bob Punter is a little concerned about that.
Well, he certainly probably should be at this point in time. Nice movement and walked on Hudnall.
So the turnover gives the ball back to Valparaiso. I mentioned this is a ball club averaging 78 points a game. South Bend Clay at 75-3, so you expect some points on the board.
Clay turns it over, and that's a statistic we pointed out that's been hurting him, and Valpo's turned him into points.
And here's the foul on Hudnall, his second on the shot attempt by Bryce Drew. Valparaiso, the last time they reached the Sweet 16, 1983. The last time they were in the Final 8, 1974. This is their first trip to the Final 4 back in 90. Tom, interesting story. Valparaiso lost to South Bend Riley 112-100 in the Michigan City Regional. For what best we can find record-wise, that was the highest combined score in Indiana tournament history, 112-100 back in 1990.
That's pretty tough in 32 minutes.
That's a lot of points to put on the board. And 2 more go on the board for Drew. So after scoring 4 in the first 16 minutes, he has scored 4 in the first 40 seconds in the second half. And Clay turns it over directly in front of our broadcast vantage point. That's another turnover for South Bend Clay. That gives them an even dozen to only 5 for Valparaiso. So Valpo has taken good care of the basketball.
Well, Bob Punter comes out here and he wants to put some pressure on the guards for Clay, and turned over another one right there.
I tell you, Tom, all 4 of these coaches today, I think, have done masterful jobs in adapting to the situation. Nice move by Bishop. He has 23. Would you believe it? Valpo has regained the lead. The last time they led was 17-15. And quickly at the other end, Michael Lee turns around and answers with his first 2 points.
Well, that's the way it happened this afternoon. New Albany finally got their first lead in the 4th quarter, and right back came Lee Nalen at that point and put Clay back up for good.
The coaches have adapted, Tom, both offensively and defensively today. Very impressively so.
And they do a lot of things, both offensively and defensively.
We do have to work on Bob Punter's tie, though. We'll get a good see Bob standing over there. We'll get a good look at Bob's tie afterwards. There's a story behind that too. Knocked out of.
Well, there better be a story behind it.
I went up to him before the game and I just grabbed it and turned around and looked at it. And I said, is that a Malik Sealy tie? And it is. Well, Malik plays for the Indiana Pacers and has a side business of designing clothes. And that's a Malik Sealy tie. In fact, that's the one I had on earlier today. He's got one long strand there.
There's the record. Bishop.
There we go. Now we're square.
If that was a 3, maybe I was wrong. You better check.
Well, I'm going to say the first time you got me in trouble. You know that. Out of bounds to Valparaiso.
We're going to have a foul call. It's going to be on Lee Nalen.
All right, that's 3 now on Nalen. Oh, see, you were wrong again. They only gave him 2 there.
Well, that's why I wasn't sure about that one. That's why I had made my comment.
But you're going to get me in all kinds of hot water here. I'm trying to follow your lead.
Well, that's a mistake.
A bullet pass down to the baseline. Ferland trying to go inside to Bishop. Tim Bishop is still in search of that record. We're going to get that record for him one way or the other.
Yeah, they don't turn that over very often, but Ferland really made a pass that time that had no chance of getting to Bishop.
Valparaiso outscoring South Bend Clay 8-2 in the second half. Nalen missing and a great block out and a foul on LaShawn Nalen. Nalen really got nailed that time. He took that little 10-footer and one of the Valpo guys got right in front of him and just kind of backed him out of there.
Well, Erdelak hit the floor and the foul on LaShawn Nalen that time. Tom DeBate started with the 2 big kids up front, Lee and LaShawn. And he's going to make a change right here. LaShawn will go out and Charlie Bonds comes back in.
Now the full court pressure. 40-39 Valparaiso. A half a dozen lead changes, only 2 ties in this game. And a relatively low-scoring affair as far as these offenses of these 2 clubs are concerned. It was a nice stutter step stop and go, and they called a foul on Lee. And that's 3. And that's 3 in this quarter. So he has had 3 fouls, Tom, in the first 2.5 minutes here.
Well, they're not getting a little protection from their zone right now because they've been exclusively man-to-man here in this 3rd quarter. And Lee probably a little bit over-anxious, and he's got a job, though, on Bryce Drew. Not only against a good player, but his size differential.
There's Drew right there.
With 3 fouls, he's going to have a hard time doing the defensive job if they stay in the man.
43-39. That is Valparaiso's biggest lead, or equals their biggest lead. They had it at 4 in the second quarter of the game tonight. 5:12 to play in the 3rd. Long-range shot. Lee, no. Foul inside. It is on South Bend Clay again.
Yeah, Jaraan Cornell got up. There's Tom DeBate. He's a little dissatisfied with what he's seen here in this 3rd quarter.
That's the 15th foul against Clay. The foul was on, as Tom mentioned, 22, Jaraan Cornell. He has 2, Lee with 3, and Lee Nalen with 3.
Yeah, Valpo has not committed a foul in this half.
Nice reverse move by Drew. Oh, that's a 3 also. Back-to-back threes. So after a 4-point first half, 10 points in the first 3 minutes of the second half for Bryce Drew. You cannot keep good shooters corralled very long. It's a 7-point Valparaiso lead, their biggest of the night.
Well, Clay has really established nothing offensively here in this 3rd quarter.
Lee Nalen misses the shot, rebounded by Valparaiso. They have no numbers on the break, but they go to the hoop anyway. What a great move by Tim Bishop. I mean, he just outran the South Bend Clay defense single-handedly. A sensational turnaround by Valparaiso on a timeout. Valparaiso leads South Bend Clay 48-39. One of your network sponsors tonight is Farm Bureau Insurance.
Well, Valpo has yet to miss a field goal attempt in this 3rd quarter. And here's one from the outside by Bryce Drew. A three-pointer. And we follow up right here with the break as Drew steals it in the lane. Gets an outlet pass to Tim Bishop. It's a nice screen from Bernison, and he goes all the way and lays it up. 6 of 6 from the field for Valpo in this quarter. Clay has hit only 1 of 4.
Valparaiso on just a tear here offensively. 48-39, 9-point lead, the biggest they've enjoyed. After being down by 7, there's a held ball. Possession arrow will give the ball to Clay. There's the possession arrow.
One of the things Valpo has done with Bob Hunter's little adjustment at halftime, they're playing more of a matchup zone back inside to keep Cornell out of that baseline and free throw lane area.
Clay needs to get something going here. Boy, they're getting pounded right now. We have not seen this either this afternoon's game or in the first half of tonight's ball game. Nalen, they doubled him, knocked it out of bounds with 3:50 to play in the third quarter. Well, when he goes down to the baseline, Tom, they just shut it off down there.
Yeah, they bring a crowd.
They're double teaming him pretty much full time anyway. Here's the three. Nothing doing there. Rebound given down by Valpo's Bryce Drew. What a third quarter this young man is having. 10 points in the quarter. 14 the long range three outside the 3-point zone for the pros is off the mark by Drew. They don't waste any time and they have no fear. Get it and let it go. 48-39. Valparaiso with 3:22 to play in the third period. Turnover again. South Bend Clay.
Turnovers are eating them up here in this quarter.
Prior to that last long-range miss by Drew, Valparaiso had hit 9 consecutive field goals.
14-6 on the turnover total now. Clay getting the big numbers there.
Rebound out of bounds to Valparaiso.
Well, Hudnall just not quite able to get up any higher that time. He just barely got a hand on it, but that was enough to knock it out of bounds. Mark Bernison, not really a three-point shooter, but nobody out on him behind the line on the inbounds play, and he knew what to do with it.
Bernison with 5. That is only, Tom, his 4th three-point field goal of the entire season. You just would not expect him to be out there firing those shots from long range. 51-39.
Well, the defense of Valpo in this third quarter has been the big story. In addition to the electrifying shooting, the only basket Clay has in this quarter came at the 6:53 mark.
Now they've got their second one from John White. Cornell, who started this ball game like a house of fire, has been completely shut down in this quarter. He had 23 points in the first half, 11 in the first quarter, 12 in the second, and now with 2:22 to play in the third, he's got a big goose egg in his column right now. Valparaiso lets it fly from 3 again. Nope. Rebound inside by South Bend Clay, taken down by Charles Bonds. They went 4 minutes and 16 seconds without a field goal. And they get the steal again as Valparaiso. Then they turn around and send it back the other way. Lee Nalen at the hoop. No. Follow up by Nalen again. And he may have stepped on the baseline, or there is a foul called against Valparaiso.
Well, Clay needed to cash in that time. They had an opportunity picking up the steal. Let's take a look. Here comes Lee Nalen. Makes a nice move on the dribble around Bernison. And Erdelak comes right back and sits right on our cameraman.
A minute 55 to go in the third. Chad Hudnall. His second three. And 8 points for Chad.
Well, the first basket I think they've had this quarter that came off of the offense. A little offensive flow that time, but Hudnall very effective from 3 points. Was able to get it.
51-44 lead for Valparaiso. They almost turned over. Drew goes to get it. Now they're going to run the offense right in front of the head coach, Bob Hunter. A minute 25 to go in the third. Drew forced the shot. Went to get his own rebound. Knocked it free, but into the hands of Hudnall. And a foul in backcourt on Bishop. That's 3 on him, and that's the first foul on Valpo in the second half. They went all the way down to the minute 16 mark.
A reach in there by Tim Bishop. It's his third. And Coach Bob Hunter has Pete Durenden up, and I think he's going to come in for Drew. He does. Finley, who comes in for the Vikings, he's going to replace Erdelak. So we have Bishop, Finley, Ferland, Durenden, and Burnison on the floor for Valparaiso.
1:13 to go in the third. 51-44. Valparaiso with the lead. Nalen steps out high. Now goes in the middle and sets up with what basically is a two-post. LaShawn and Lee Nalen. Great position rebound-wise for Bishop.
First shot Cornell really has had outside here in the third quarter. Couldn't get it to fall. Bishop penetrates.
27 points for Bishop. Missed that shot. The rebound comes off into Cornell's hand. And a reach-in foul. That is the foul on Bishop. That is his fourth. Now that's a foul that will drive Bob Hunter up the wall because that was a wide open area foul. There was no real cause for it.
Well, his third foul was the same way here at center court just moments ago. He reached in on a Clay fast break attempt.
He will come out. Bryce Drew will return to the lineup. There's Bishop, and those were his numbers. 27. 21-point first half. Remarkable effort by the young man who's a senior and 6-footer, 170 pounds. 42 seconds to go in this third quarter.
Look at it from Clay's perspective. A basket right here would really be big for them.
They get the basket.
Lee Nalen off the baseline.
Believe it or not, Tom, that's Lee Nalen's first point of this ball game. And he averages 20.1 and 9 rebounds. 51-46 Valpo with 22 seconds to go in the third. Valparaiso really went on a tear. They outscored South Bend Clay 16-2.
Well, now they have the ball in the hands of who they want to shoot it here.
He got the job done, and a blocking foul is called. Boy, Drew having a great ball game here in the third quarter. That's his fourth field goal. 2 of those have been at the three-point variety. The basket will count, and the foul is called against Lee Nalen. That's 4 on him.
Well, these are the kind of plays that keep your team undefeated and allow you to win state championships. The time running out in the corner, you've got the ball in the hands of your big scorer. He takes it to the basket, and Lee Nalen trying to get in front of him, but never could quite stabilize his position. Goes to the bench. Erdelak's going to come in for Ferland. You see right there the exchange for Valparaiso. Valpo has all their players back off the free throw line here with only 3.9 seconds remaining in the quarter.
Drew has been to the line 6 times and hit 4 of 6. Now 5 of 7. And he has been the real driving force behind Valparaiso's surge to the lead. At the buzzer, off the mark. We've got 8 more minutes left to decide the champion of high school basketball in the great state of Indiana. Drew 3, Valpo 54, Clay 46. One of our network sponsors tonight is PSI Energy. Along with Tom Hession, I'm Jerry Baker. Welcome back to the Hoosier Dome. Ron McBride, the head coach of the Bloomfield Cardinals, is on our panel of experts. Ron, a sensational third quarter turned in by Valparaiso.
Yeah, Valparaiso, did the things they had to do. They shut South Bend down inside, and then they got their outside shooting going. That's what we talked about a little before, that if the game would be between South Bend's inside and Valparaiso's outside, and right now Valpo's hitting those outside shots.
They completely shut Cornell down. Any idea what they did, Ron?
Yeah, I think they're sagging in more on the inside and forcing them to shoot the outside shot. They're helping out a lot more on the inside.
All right, Ron, thanks. And again, we appreciate you joining us on our panel of expert coaches.
All right, thank you.
Bryce Drew hits the 2 in that third quarter. Cornell took only 2 shots after scoring 23 points in the first half. It's a 10-point lead now for Valparaiso with the fourth quarter just getting underway. The 3 is up and good by Bonds. His first scoring effort in the second half, giving him 8, his second 3-point field goal. Oh, that three-pointer, Tom, is absolutely an amazing weapon. A lot of coaches, when that first was put into effect in high school and in college, refused to use it, didn't like it, wasn't good for the game. Boy, you better have that in your arsenal if you're going to play this game.
Well, you have to have it, and you have to use it judiciously, too, because, as we said earlier, the teams that have had problems are ones that have had real poor shooting of the three percentage-wise.
Nice penetration move by Bonds again. He has scored 5 quick points here in the fourth period after scoring 5 total in the first 3 periods of this ball game.
Bonds trying to do it at both ends. He's scored the last 2 baskets, and he's trying to guard Bryce Drew, but he's having his hands full.
Drew trial with 21 points after scoring only a point in the first and 3 more in the second. For a 4-point first half total, he has 21 now.
It's a tough matchup for Charlie Bonds.
They tried the alley-oop. It did not work, and Ryan Erdelak comes out of there. Clay has turned the ball over 15 times through 3 quarters in this game. They turned it over only a total of 18 in the afternoon. And look who's on fire. Drew with his 3rd 3-point field goal. And it's 24 points for Drew, 27 for Bishop, and Tom DeBates has seen all this he wants to see for a while. 6:12 to play in the game. Valparaiso in the bonus with a 61-51 lead. One of your network sponsors tonight, your local Indiana dairy farmer. Well, Bryce Drew is a 6'3", 170-pound senior who can fire from anywhere. Look where he is, Tom. That's NBA range right there.
It sure is, and he gets nothing but the net. There it is,
goodness.
right here.
The NBA range is about 3 feet behind that high school marker there, and man, he is knocking them home from outside. I've got to wonder what Bob Hunter may have said to him at halftime, because he has really gotten into the flow of this thing offensively.
Well, and the man-to-man defense has helped that Clay is playing against him. They really don't match up very well.
Inside to Cornell. They need to get him in the flow of things, too, and cannot seem to get it done. The ball is batted free, picked out of there by Hudnall. Given back inside to Lee Nalen. Second bucket by Nalen. 4th point of the game, 61-53.
Both teams shooting 50% from the field for the game up until that last sequence right there, and that ought to put them over a little more than 50.
Nice save by Bishop. Battle for the rebound inside. Good position, and staying with it was Burnison. 7 points for Mark Burnison. After a 12-point, 3-rebound game of the afternoon, he has put his ball club back in front by 10, 63-53. Over to the right side, Bonds. Boy, he's been a savior for this ball club in the 4th quarter. 7 points in period for Bonds, giving him 12 on the night. He had 7 points this afternoon and 5 assists and 3 boards. And if it wasn't for Charles Bonds, their 5'10 senior, they'd be in deep water, and they're already kind of treading in that water.
Well, they changed their assignments there. They have Cornell on Drew, but made no difference that time.
9 points, 9 of the 12 in the 4th period for Valparaiso's Bryce Drew. He is a man obsessed right now. 65-55 Valparaiso, 4:45 to go in the game. Cornell up, yes. Basket is good. And the foul is called against Valparaiso. Drew is acting as though he's the guilty party. We'll see. The basket will count. Nope, the foul is going to be on Finley. Number 2 on him. You look at it again.
Well, we told you about the jumping ability of Jaraan Cornell, and watch him get up and look at the reach for the ball, back up in, just a great skilled player. There it is again. Well, Drew thought he might get that rebound, and Cornell just swooped it right in. And he's going to have a chance to add one from the stripe.
15 points and 12 rebounds for Cornell this afternoon against New Albany. A double-double for the youngster. Misses the free throw, tries to crash the boards, cannot get the job done. Into the hands of Dave Furlan. 4:40 to play. 65-57 Valparaiso.
Now they've got Cornell out here on Drew.
They run the isolation. Drew just takes him down to the corner and missed the shot badly.
4-on-1.
They've got numbers, and they will go to the line.
And number 2 got there in time to make the foul and break up the play. That was Drew.
Bryce Drew is his first personal foul so far. He is not in any kind of difficulty. Bishop has 4. Let's look at this again. Now watch this break and watch Drew get back up court to play defense.
They had 4-on-1, and then when the pass came, Drew came from behind, be the second defender, and he got there in time to prevent the layup, and going to make Lee Nalen get his 2 at the stripe.
I was checking some of these guys. LaShawn Nalen's favorite musical group, Tom, is Snoop Doggy Dogg, and Lee Nalen's favorite musical group As he misses the free throw, is dog pound. How would you like to be at that household on a Saturday night when they got nothing to do but hang around listening?
I wouldn't even know what they were talking about.
Here's Lee Nalen. Plans to attend junior college and play some basketball. Draws the goose egg on those 2 attempts. Now comes back inside and lays it up and good. Nice save on the baseline by Cornell again.
Nalen normally a pretty good shooter, and he couldn't get either one to fall. Cornell kept it alive, however, and Nalen did finish it off.
They go down inside. The ball batted free. Picked back up off the glass and kissed it in. Bryce Drew, unbelievably so, is carrying this Valpo club all by his lonesome. The 3 deep down inside, comes back out and chased down by Valparaiso. With the basketball is Bishop. Bishop hard to the hoop. Bishop layup. 29 points for Tim Bishop. 52 points on the day, and Clay will take timeout. 3 minutes, 42 seconds of playing time. Valparaiso, they've chased him hard and cut the 10-point lead down. They've got it back to 10. It's 69-59, and one of our network sponsors is Farm Bureau Insurance. Over 23,000 on hand at the Dome this afternoon. No attendance figure reported tonight. Probably in the 20,000 or so area. 10-point lead Valparaiso. That's the time left in the 4th quarter for the state championship.
Well, Clay trailed by 5 at the end of 3 quarters. They've hit 6 out of 10 in the quarter so far, but they can't stop fellows like Tim Bishop. So their 5-point deficit's now to 10, even though they've hit 60% from the field.
That is amazing. Here are the field goal numbers for the ball game.
Right on target. Those are pretty even. Free throws a little advantage to Valpo, and they lead from the 3-point range. Is why their score is up by 10.
Hudnall thought about the 3, opted not to go that away. Cornell now is double teamed deep in the right corner in front of the Clay bench. Inside to Nalen. Nice turnaround move. He had the defender on him that time, Burnison, but there was nothing he could do about it. So Nalen has 6 points in the quarter and 8 points in the ball game.
Clay made very good use of the possession that time, and they needed the basket and took it low and got it.
A lot of time left. 3:05 in this game. Don't let him into the panic mode just yet if you're a South Bend Clay fan. 69-61. Valparaiso Vikings looking for their first ever state championship as the South Bend Clay.
Valpo, of course, not really going to force the issue here at this point. They can, as long as they can handle the ball, they can go to the stripe, and there's a foul on Cornell. They're not. I think that is the 7th foul. That will put them at the stripe.
There's Tom DeBates. Well, the Valparaiso girls have had some success. They've been to the Final Four 3 times in 1982, 91, and 92. They lost in the state championship game to Heritage in 82. Young lady named Cindy Willis won the Mental Attitude Award that year. Only 6 unbeaten teams have ever won the state championship. We mentioned that. The latest was in 85, and the Marion Giants took it all home. Bryce Drew on the free throw line. 6 of 8 tonight.
Well, this is a bad team to have to foul and put them at the line, because as a team they've been excellent all year.
Drew is a member of the National Honor Society with 3.7 grade point average. Went to the Final 8 in singles a couple of years ago in tennis. Good all-around athlete. 2:34 to play. 71-61 Valparaiso. Pull-up shot, right side. Well, that young man Charles Bonds with a 9-point 4th period now and 14 on the evening.
Well, Bonds deserves a lot of credit. Not really known as a shooter, but he's done everything that he has been told to do here this evening, and then some offensively to try and get Clay on top.
In fact, Tom, he only shoots 31%.
Right, but he's had a good tournament.
I would think Clay's got to step up the defense in a hurry. We're down to 2:05 to go, and their ball club is down by 8 points. I'm not sure you can sit there in that man-to-man and just play passive defense.
No, it's difficult to figure out who you're going to foul against this team, however.
The foul is on Cornell. That's 4 on him. Well, regardless of the outcome, these two schools must be extremely proud of the way they have performed this year. Dr. Michael Benway, the superintendent at Valparaiso, Kenneth Chris, the principal, Sam Rasmussen's the AD, Dr. Virginia Calvin, the superintendent at South Bend Clay, Joanne Allman is the principal, George Humdicky is the athletic director there. Marvelous year for both these schools. It's a great Final Four.
And another school that's probably sitting around and wondering how good they are, or could have been. There's a short on the free throw. East Chicago Central lost to Valpo by 1 point twice. And of course, last week's was in 4 overtimes.
Lee Nalen with 8 in the quarter, 10 of the night. 71-65. Now the pressure starts to step up a little bit. 4 overtime loss last week by East Chicago. At the other end, Tim Bishop now with 31. What a day he's had. 25 this afternoon, 31 tonight. Foul, basket will not count. Wipe it off. The foul is on Finley. And Michael Lee is set to stride to the free throw line as we take one more look at it.
Well, Lee tried to come through Furlan and Finley. Finley made the contact. They're still not to the stripe.
Yep, not yet in the bonus. That's only the 16th foul against Valparaiso. Inside, now here's foul number 7.
This one's going to put Cornell to the free throw line.
It is on Drew. Number 2 on Drew. And Cornell, boy, what a first half Jaraan Cornell had. 23 points, and he now has 25 with a minute 26 to play. So they have done a very effective job on him.
Well, a couple of free throws here puts him at 6. That's a couple of possessions.
Cornell, after 15 points and a dozen rebounds this afternoon, now with 26 points. To his credit, and 9 rebounds tonight. He got them both. Big free throws for South Bend Clay. A minute 26 to play. Now the pressure comes from everywhere. Valpo having no real problem handling it, although the time gets of the essence here. They get it across the timeline and take the timeout. 1:16 to go in the game. Valparaiso leads South Bend Clay 73-67. One of your network sponsors is DuPont Ag Products. Valparaiso with a minute 16 to play, leads 73-67. Let's reset this ball game for you, give you a feel for where we are and where we're going down the stretch in the final minute 16. Here's the game reset. You see the fouls to give, both clubs in the bonus, and the timeout situation, 1 for South Bend and 2 for Valparaiso. No turnovers this quarter for either team. That is amazing. Burnett finds that stat for us, and Valparaiso will take another timeout, and so will we. Still, 73-67, Valparaiso leading with a minute 16. Back in a moment. One of your network sponsors tonight is PSI Energy. Some levity here. Just a moment ago, Valparaiso's team came out of the huddle before the officials wanted them. They tried to hold them back, and all 5 of the players are out there kind of chuckling to one another and got a little circle huddle and started talking to each other. So they're still able to smile under these kinds of intense pressures for these young men.
Well, it's easier to smile when you're up.
Oh, yes.
6 points.
Oh, yes. In the quarter, here's the red-hot field goal percentages for both ball clubs.
Yeah, the teams are shooting well.
They really are.
The number of three-pointers by Valpo is the difference.
And again, no turnovers in the quarter. I'll tell you, South Bend Clay cannot continue. They've got to commit the foul. That's all there is to it. It's the first on Bonds. Surprised me a little bit, Tom. They're playing like there's 3 or 4 minutes left in the ball game.
Well, I think their dilemma is they don't want to foul Drew. They don't want to foul Bishop. You don't want to foul Furman.
And that's where the ball's going to be.
That's where it's going to be. And,
that's a good point.
A little hesitant, but they did make contact with Bishop, and there he is at the line.
This is the young man who hit that 8-footer with 0.7 of a second to go in that 4th overtime to send the Valparaiso Vikings into the state finals. 32, make it 33. For Tim Bishop, who averages 18-4. He has had a whale of a game. 52 seconds to play, 75-67. Well, they've got to put the ball in the air. They take it inside. They'll get the 2 on the stuff by Nalen. Giving him a nice 4th quarter with 10 points and 12 points on the night, but it may be too little too late for that young man. Nalen was in foul trouble early in the game. They had to get him out of there to Tom debates, and they've not quite recovered. Now here's the turnover. That's the first one of the 4th period. Bonds outside. Yes. That's the 3rd 3 for Charles Bonds, 2 of which have come here in this quarter. He has 12 points in the quarter and 17 on the night and a foul. is on Hudnall. That's the third on Chad.
Well, they had to foul him, and he had the ball, and they're going to get him to the line. There's Tom DeBates. His club won't quit.
As I mentioned, he needed 2 wins coming into the day to tie the all-time school coaching record set by Tom Hess. And if he ties that record, he will win the state championship. Well, they're not dead in the water just yet. They've been very conservatively playing, I thought anyway, defensively and offensively, but they're within 3 with 23 and 2/10 seconds to go. But like you say, when you send them to the line, it's like giving them 2.
Big free throw right there for the Vikings. There he is, Bryce Drew, 6'3" senior.
14 points in the quarter, 31 of the night. He missed the second one. 33 for Bishop. Bishop and Drew have been a 2-man wrecking machine. They kick it out of bounds, and it'll belong to South Bend Clay. 18 and 7/10 seconds to go. Nobody's leaving the arena here at the Hoosier Dome.
Well, they about have to swing this ball around and get it to Hudnall in a 3-point shooting position.
They break it out to Bonds. Bonds goes far side to Hudnall. He fires the 3 and got it. And they want a timeout. Will they get the timeout? They will. Well, you called it, Tom, right on the money. The third 3-pointer for Hudnall. His first score in the 4th period, 11 on the night. 13 and 3. We're coming back. One of the network sponsors is Farm Bureau Insurance.
Well, here's the basket that brought Clay within 1. Bonds gets it to Hudnall as he came from the weak side. Over to take that pass, set up beautifully, hit it, 76-75.
Here's the reset. It pretty well tells you the story. South Bend possession arrow. If they can get a held ball. We're inside 10. Here's the lob up court. They throw it back outside, and a foul is called on Chad Hudnall. That's the 4th on Chad, and a pretty good foul call.
Yeah, they had not much choice right there. They have to get them up to the stripe, hope they miss.
It's been a game of ebb and flow. And right now, Flo is running second to ebb. South Bend led by 7, fell behind by 12. And it has been a game where neither ball club, Tom, could run away and hide for very long. Big free throws for Bishop. He is now 3 for 3. 34 points for Tim Bishop tonight.
I think I want that guy on my side.
Oh, he is something, boy. 86% free throw shooter. He got them both. 35 points for Bishop. And we'll get a timeout. Well, I'll tell you, let's talk about this for a minute. Tim Bishop with 35, Tom. And Bryce Drew coming into the 4th quarter had 17. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He has 31. So between those 2 guys, they've pretty well taken care of the scoring for Valparaiso. In fact, Bernerson has 8. Berlin has 3. Erdelac has 2. And that's it. Let's go inside the huddle now with Bob Punter.
Bryce is going to come down here and make the ball come in low. All right? Everybody's going to go. You got this zone. You got this zone. You got this zone.
Now let's go down to the other huddle. South Bend plays Tom DeBates.
Well, he's going to send these shooters down the middle, and they're going to roll to the outside across opposite sides. Valpo coach.
Got the ball out of bounds. You sprint down the floor. You curl.
Well, in the history column, South Bend Clay won the sectionals in 1951, 85, and 94. And I go back to 1951 when a good friend of mine was on that team at that time, a guy by the name of Don Schlutt. Oh, can he play some basketball as well? He proved out at Indiana University.
Now Valpo's going to try and make Clay eat up some clock bringing up the floor. They don't want him to throw long. They want him to throw it in at the Valpo offensive end or Clay's defensive end.
Tom Hudnall has 3 threes and Bonds has 3 threes. We assume they're the target guys right now.
Well, I would think they're going to go either to Hudnall or Cornell, the way they're lined up.
Cornell has 1 3-pointer in this ball game. They've got to hustle and got to fire the 3. Tough defense by Drew. Outside. It's on the way. It is gone! Tim John Cornell. Oh, my. The 30th point of the game and the second 3-pointer for Cornell. Tom, you were right on the money again, buddy.
Well, he's a ball player. You got to get the ball in those Pell's hands.
And it happened at the buzzer. No time left. We're going overtime. That is amazing. And as the sign says up above, incredible.
Well, that was a great setup by Coach Tom DeBates. We're going to see it again. He lined up Hudnall on one side, Cornell on the other. And they were designed to stop the play down the lane, down the side, I should say. And Cornell appeared, and you saw what happened. It was through the nets, and this ball club is amazing. And we probably haven't given Clay enough credit this season, or not this season. We didn't really have him ranked very highly. But the stature they had coming in here was probably not as high as the other two, or maybe all three teams.
Tom, I've been very high in my praise of the coaches. Bob Punter, Tom DeBates, Steve Whitty, and Jim Miller down at New Albany. And I continue to be amazed because that play, and we could overhear what the conversation was and give the players credit, because sometimes in those situations you tend to panic a little bit. They followed it right to the tee, and it worked out for South Bend Clay absolutely beautifully.
Well, they did, and I'm sure, though, the good coaching doesn't just come here at the ball game. Those are things they plan. Let's take a look at the clock as the shot went off. There comes Cornell. You see him come out of the lane behind the circle. Shots in the air at about 2-6. Through the net at about 1-1. No timeout. And we're going to have a jump ball and start an overtime period.
Goodness, what a remarkable turnaround. Valparaiso was down by 12. I beg your pardon, was down by 7. And then they had South Bend Clay down by 12. The last three baskets for South Bend were all three-pointers. Scored 32 points in the fourth quarter of this game. That is an amazing stat unto itself. And the foul to begin the overtime session on Bob Finley. That's the fourth on Finley. Valparaiso in the third quarter scored 24. South Bend Clay scored 32 points. Charles Bonds with 12 points in that quarter. Tom, we kept saying that Bonds was kind of the key. He kept keeping him in the ball game. They've got Finley fouling out of the game, and he fouls out with no points. Naylor with a dozen. Short arms the free throw. Naylor finally got on track likewise in the fourth period. He had only 2 points through the first 3 quarters, total 10 in the fourth period alone. Nice move to the hoop, off the mark by Drew. It was a house of fire likewise in this second half of this game for Valpo. Collision at the midcourt stripe.
It's going to be the 5th foul, I believe, on Tim Bishop.
I think you're right, if that's the way it goes. And this young man with 31 points will exit the game. I beg your pardon. 35 points. Oh, what a game he had this afternoon, Tom. With 25, he was a major factor in the second half of the afternoon game, and he goes out with 35.
Yeah, he wants to play and wants to win. You can tell that's the kind of kid he is. Pete Durenden comes on the floor.
Bishop heading toward IU on a football scholarship. His sister Nikki was here in 91 and 92 in the state finals. We talked earlier today, Tom, about the bloodlines of some of these schools. They've got a rich tradition winding their way through. The last South Bend lead was at 39-38 with 6:53 to go in the third quarter.
Well, Mike Lee stepped up and hit that first one. He got the second one.
He has 4 points in the game.
Both teams getting some great performance from the individuals that have to show what they can do under pressure.
Valparaiso with the basketball, trailing by 2. 2:20 to go in the overtime period. Oh, nice step-up move that time by Dave Furley. He appeared to have stopped his drive and then went right at him. Here's the 3. It is good. Home run shot by Chad Hudnall is his 4th, and we've got the record, Tom, but not for the guy we thought was going to get the mark. Hudnall with his 4th three-point field goal. 83-80. Here's the 3 outside for Drew. Nothing doing. Rebound in the middle by Naylor. Kicked it up court in a hurry to Bonds. Bonds to the shot. Off the mark. Follow-up shot still won't go. And the rebound comes off to Valparaiso. Into the hands of Durenden.
Well, a tough miss there for Clay. They had a couple of chances around the rim. couldn't get it to fall, and now Valpo back needing a basket.
83-80. South Bend play. Here's the guy that can get him the bucket. Off the back of the rim on the floor. Nobody went to get it. Finally chased down by Valparaiso and thrown off the body of Cornell. And out of bounds to Valparaiso, right in front of their bench.
You know, I just started to say before that shot was taken that the legs aren't moving quite as quickly now on both teams. And then we see a rebound go like that, and people kind of stand and watch it, and we've got some tired players.
They were frozen in motion. Nice defensive play inbounds, and a foul called against Clay.
That'll be on Cornell, I believe.
And he is already headed toward the bench. That is his 5th foul. What a first half this young man had. Got to give him credit, Tom, because he's the guy that kept Clay alive. He had 11 or 13 points in the first half in the first quarter, and 23 of their 37 at halftime.
Well, each club now has lost a stellar part of their team. Bishop, and now for Clay, Jaraan Cornell was sophomore.
11 of 17 from the field with 30 points and 10 rebounds. Steve Griffin will come into the ball.
Steve comes in. He's a junior.
Valpo has lost Tim Bishop to fouls with 35 points. He left the game. South Bend Clay now has lost Cornell. He goes out with 30. This is a young man that averages 16.5 points a game. Big free throws coming up. Well, I guess they all are. Jaraan can't get it. Rebound South Bend Clay, and the reach-in foul on Erdelak.
You think the Valpo people are thinking, are we going to go 4 overtimes again this week?
They would love to go at least a second with the way things are going right now. I cannot tell you about the emotional highs and lows of this ball game. You almost have to be here to experience it, because I think, Tom, in our minds, you and I anyway, had pretty much written Valpo's name on the trophy. But it was not working that way as the South Bend Clay club hits a 3. Cornell at the buzzer to send it into OT, and now with a minute 15 to play in the overtime session, it's 83-80 South Bend Clay. They have one more to believe from Lee Nalen. 13 for Nalen, who averages 20.1 at 16 this afternoon.
Well, I just sit here and admire the tenacity of this Clay basketball team.
Phenomenal, really phenomenal. They were almost DOA at one point in time, but they have come back strong. Down by 12 points in the second half. An air ball way off the mark by Drew, trying to force things. And a foul as Valparaiso tries desperately to make the save and pick up the loose basketball. The foul will be on 32 Erdelak. That'll be his 3rd foul.
There's Ryan Erdelak committed the foul.
In OT with 59 and 3/10 seconds to play.
Hey, a couple of free throws right here would make Clay look pretty good. But the way these teams have gone, you're afraid to say anything's final until the buzzer sounds.
Number 10, Michael Lee, leads the club in assists, second in steals, a 5'9", 152-pound senior with a 6.3 scoring average. Rolls the first one over the front of the rim. He has 5 points, 3 of which have come here in the overtime session. South Bend Clay Colonials, first time state finals. Beat Manchester and Dwenger at the Fort Wayne Semi-State last Saturday. He couldn't get it, and the rebound comes off to Valparaiso, down into the hands of Erdelak. 86-80 with 52 seconds to play. Now Valpo is in the position right now that Clay was earlier on in the game, Tom. Here's the long-range shot, short. Rebound down into the hands of Chad Hudnall. Up court, Nalen. That may nail it.
Yeah, I think that one, Nalen's got a cramp.
Well, they can't stop play. Valparaiso has the ball. They go inside for the uncontested layup from Furlan, giving him 7 points. And at the other end of the floor, Nalen is writhing in pain with that calf of that right leg. I don't think it's anything more than the cramp.
No, it's just a cramp.
Tom, let's back up for a minute. You and I were both looking at this Clay ball club with about, 2 minutes to go, I guess. And I'm saying I'm not sure I understand the defensive pressure or lack thereof, nor the hurry in the offensive pattern. but it worked out to perfection. I'm still not sure if I understand it, but when you get the outside shot from Cornell to tie the ball game with no time left on the clock, pretty hard to back off and look at anything critical in that particular coaching decision.
No, I think he's done a good job, and you really can't get panicky. You do have to do some things when you're behind that maybe you don't want to do, but you still can't panic, and they played the clock well. And obviously, they've won 26 ball games coming in here tonight, so they know how to play the game. And I think probably Tom DeBates gets a lot of credit for the way he has had this team be competitive. There's a rebound. Here it comes.
This is when Leyland comes down with that cramp.
Comes down, and he takes a little hop right there and hit the floor.
Speaking of hops, Tom DeBates, 42-year-old graduate of South Bend LaSalle High School and Indiana University. Here's that scenario I was talking about, Tom. Valpo was up 75-67 with 43 and 2/10 seconds to go in regulation. And over the last 43 seconds in the OT, Bob Bernath tells me South Bend has outscored them 21-7. Foul on the inbounds play on Drew.
That'll almost make you a state champion, won't it?
I'm telling you, that is absolutely one of the great finishing stories I have seen in all my years being a part of this. Unbelievable effort. And the folks up in the South Bend area, Clay and the rest of the folks up there are going to be proud of this ball club.
I think we've had a champion out of South Bend, haven't we, since 1957, maybe?
We're back a long way to find one. Would have been Central.
John and Sylvester Coleman. And another Lee on that team. Here's Pons. Boy, this senior has really done a job. But you just about have to say that for every man that Tom's put on the floor here.
Pons had a 12-point fourth quarter. Kept just shooting and had 2 threes and 3 deuces. Well, it felt right along, Tom, that if they were going to get back in it, that'd be the guy that would get him there. 90-82. Here's the 3 by Drew. He nails it. Bryce Drew now likewise also on the record book with his 4th 3-point field goal. Interesting, Tom and I both were looking at Tim Bishop to get his 4th in the 3rd quarter. He is still looking for it.
Oh, I gave it to him a couple of times.
Yes, you did. 34 points for Bryce Drew. Bishop with 35 on the sideline. He is out of the game via the fouls. This, Tom, would have to go in the record books as one of the greatest come-from-behind wins, if that's what happens, maybe in the history of this tournament.
Yeah, it's been a great contest. Just a lot of heart by this ball club, and I kind of got that feeling, not that they were going to win particularly tonight, but the way they came right back this afternoon after they frittered the lead to New Albany. And sometimes when New Albany, or the team you're playing, takes that lead, boy, you can wilt right there after having command of the game. But they came right back and got a basket and said, we're not giving it up, and they hung right in there.
And in 7 of the last 10 years, as Lee hits them both, the team that played the second game has won the state championship. Great defensive play as Michael Lee, going full steam ahead, flies under our tables. He is up and he's all right. 11.7 the playing time remaining. This has got to be a real heartbreaker for the Valpo fans, Tom, many of whom I'm sure were starting to mentally celebrate, because it looked for all the world as though they had it wrapped up and they're going to lose it. And the foul is on Erdelak.
Well, they did virtually the same thing last week in the semi-state. East Chicago looked like they had won one. And Valpo came back to take it. And now Clay, they're ready to celebrate with 6 seconds left and a 7-point lead.
Now the coaching staff is not having any of that. Jim Perrant out of IU South Bend, Ken Vargo from Bethel College, Steve Scott from IU, he'll graduate in the fall, and Jim Armour out of the University of Michigan. Well, I'm going to give those guys credit, Tom, because they never lost faith.
They've done a great job. Coach Bob Punter gets some Valpo players off the bench. He's got 6 of them out there right now. Somebody's going to have to go out. He wants Bryce Drew to come off, I think. Now he does.
The previous high score in a championship game, both teams, Tom. You got to go back to 1955 when Crispus Attucks beat Gary Roosevelt 97-74, 171 points. Bob tells me right now we're looking at 177, so another record will fall. Jeff Proctor coming in, a 6'2 sophomore for South Bend Clay, as both benches start to clear. South Bend Clay, you can start celebrating with 6 6/10 seconds to go and a 7-point lead. There's a look at the Valpo bench. And now the job for Bob Punter is to console his young men, who just minutes ago appeared for all the world to be the 1994 state champions. Points for Charles Bonds, a young man who averages 4.1.
That's an achievement, isn't it?
Had only 7 points in the afternoon and counted.
That's a great thing about high school sports. Kids get an opportunity. They do great things sometimes, and Charlie Bonds is one of those here tonight.
Bonds playing defense in backcourt. They get it across the timeline. Ball game is over. The basket will count by Mark Jaraan. And the celebration begins. Let's go out and get a chat with the winning coach. Here's Jim Barber. Jim.
Thank you very much, Jerry. Tom DeBates, can you possibly grasp what has happened tonight?
Not yet. We still haven't. I haven't anyway. We just had one great comeback. The kids sucked it up in that fourth quarter, 10 points behind. They've done a remarkable job all year long, just playing together and playing hard like that.
Jaraan Cornell's shot at the buzzer that tied the game and actually helped win it because it forced an extra period where you took control. What was the play?
Just that. We had two guys swing and Jaraan coming up the top, and we were supposed to get the ball to Jaraan, and Jaraan put it in. It just worked perfectly.
I asked you earlier today, after expending so much emotion, could you come back tonight? And you said, hey, this is for the championship. Of course you can, and you did.
We did in the fourth quarter. We really did. The kids did it. I don't know what to say.
For Valparaiso, Bishop was sensational in the first half, Drew in the second half.
Yeah, they're both great players. They're both great shooters, great athletes. You know, they were undefeated up until this game. They had to have one heck of a ball team, one heck of a coaching staff to go through the season like they did.
How about Charles Bonds? Here's a guy who doesn't score very much until you need it. A great fourth quarter and overtime.
Now, you know, somebody's always picked this up at one time or another. If things weren't going bad, somebody all year long just happened to pick up the slack, and tonight it was Charlie.
Congratulations, Tom, on the championship.
Thank you. We brought one back to South Bend finally.
In dramatic fashion. Back to you, Jerry.
All right, Tom DeBates, now the all-time record holder for wins at South Bend Clay High School, along with Tom Hessen. He did two coming into the day. He got him. He also got the state championship. Quickly in scoring for Valparaiso, 35 for Tim Bishop. Bryce Drew had 34 points for South Bend Clay, 30 points for Jaraan Cornell, 20 points for Charles Bonds, 16 for Lee Nalen, and 14 for Chet Hudnall. Your thoughts, Tom Hessen?
Well, just a game with a lot of heart, really, and we saw that with Clay previously. They had a situation where they had to come back and fight off New Albany this afternoon. Tonight, they were given up for dead.
Well,
but they sure came back, and really, you just have to give everybody that's involved with that program a lot of credit, because you don't just do this in the last part of the season or the week you come to the state. You've had to ingrain in these people that type of attitude that you're going to battle people, and they did it very well.
Well, our crew has had a very busy day today and a long day. crew call early this morning. They've been here all day, haven't left the arena. We'll show you some of the folks that have been involved. My deep appreciation to all of them. That's our executive producer, Joe Pate, to the left of the screen in the red sweater there. Some of the guys involved with our telecast. Tom, this has been a remarkable day. It really has. We thought it would be a fine Final Four. Indeed, it has been. And the final score again in OT was 93-88 in favor of South Bend Clay. And I am stunned by the terrific upset of this, the comeback of this ball club. They ended up shooting the South Bend Clay 57%. Cornell 11 of 17. Valparaiso shot 50%. The rebound advantage belonged to South Bend Clay 32-25. And just a remarkable ball game. Our thanks to you, of course, to Jim Barber on the floor, Bob Bernath, who did our stats for us throughout the day. I'm not sure we're going to have time to show you the ceremony for the Trester Award. So we happen to know who it is. It is Bryce Drew of Valparaiso High School, 6'3", 170, a senior, who finished up with 34 points and had 30 of those in the second half. We're very happy for he and his family.
Well, they are. They're a nice bunch of kids at Valpo. They had a great competitive spirit. Obviously, one loss had to come here tonight for the Vikings. That's a disappointing one for them, but they've had a great season.
Indeed, they have. South Bend Clay making its first trip ever to the state finals. They only won 3 sectionals in the history of the school. They have come through under a strong guiding coaching hand of Tom DeBates, winning the South Bend sectional, the Elkhart regional, the Fort Wayne semi-state, and now the state basketball championship. They will start the proceedings with the trophies and the medals and what have you. We will have to leave you because of the overtime. Final score again. It's 93-88. South Bend Clay the winner. For Tom Hessian, for the rest of our crew, this is Jerry Baker saying congratulations to all of our friends and fans up in the South Bend area. Got a right to be proud. This is a marvelous ball club led by Jaraan Cornell's 30, overcoming 35 from Bishop and 34 from Bryce Drew. And because of the time, we will have to leave you tonight. So that's it from the Hoosier Dome. Join us again next year for the girls' state finals and the boys' state finals on the IHSAA television network.
You've been watching another Indiana High School Athletic Association championship event. Your network sponsors were your local Indiana dairy farmer, Winners Drink Milk, Farm Bureau Insurance, the proud corporate sponsor of all IHSAA championship events, DuPont Classic, Pinnacle, Assure 2. What makes them better is you. And PSI Energy. This is the Indiana High School Athletic Association Television Network.